What's up, Taiwan? I'm Sandy Chi with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. President Lai Ching-te has welcomed a visiting group from the U.S. House of Representatives.
This is an important time, not just for the United States and Taiwan relationship, but all relationships around the world.
The delegation was led by Ami Bera, co-chair of the Congressional Taiwan Caucus. President Lai called for the quick passage of a bill to eliminate double taxation between Taiwan and the U.S. He also said Taiwan is willing to do more to boost its defense capabilities.
我也希望台美安全合作能够从军事采购迈向共同生产、共同研发，伙伴关系继续深化国防产业的交流合作。
The U.S. delegation also met with Vice President Bi Xiao on Monday and is set to meet with Foreign Minister Ling Jialong in the coming days. Taiwan's Mainland Affairs Council, which governs relations with China, has condemned former President Ma Ying-jeou's remarks at this year's Straits Forum in Xiamen. Ma called for more exchanges across the Taiwan Strait to avoid miscalculations. He also reiterated the need to oppose Taiwan independence. He was attending the annual forum during his fourth visit to China since leaving office in 2016. The Mainland Affairs Council also criticized Ma for not raising concerns about Beijing's continued attempts to pressure and infiltrate Taiwan. Israel and Iran continued trade strikes with a rising death toll and few signs of de-escalation. John Van Triest has this report.
Flames pour from the site of another Israeli strike in Iran's capital, Tehran. While in Israeli cities like Tel Aviv, sirens warn of a barrage of incoming Iranian missiles. It's been several days since an Israeli strike on Iran set off a series of intense back-and-forth attacks. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says his country had no choice.
We are now confronting the two greatest threats to our existence, the Iranian nuclear threat and the threat of Iranian ballistic missiles.
But Iranian officials dispute the nuclear justification.
We will still refrain from pursuing developing a nuclear bomb. We have to see how things unfold in the future, but for now we have no intention of going toward a nuclear bomb.
As the days add up, so does the death toll. Iran says over 224 people have died so far, while at least 14 have died in Israel. Many of the survivors are injured. There's anger on both sides, like this anti-Israel protest in Iran, but there's sadness and confusion too. On the streets of Tehran, there's a sense of resilience, but also grim reflection.
I'm very sad about what's happening right now. I'm not thinking about storing food. I'm thinking more about how we will succeed and how we must respond to Israel.
While in the Israeli town of Bat Yam, site of an intense Iranian strike, there's sorrow as residents sweep up broken glass and wonder what comes next.
They're fighting against elderly people. They're fighting against children. Children were killed here, an 8-year-old girl and a 10-year-old boy. They are fighting against old people. Who are they fighting against? There are still people here who haven't been found yet.
Now there are signs things could heat up rather than de-escalate, with threats on both sides.
From the moment we launched the campaign, we acted with surprise and deception. In the opening strike, we eliminated the top military command. We will continue to intensify our operations, and in doing so, strengthen our security for years to come.
We currently possess a complete database of all your sensitive and critical locations and vital points. Therefore, we emphasize, do not allow the criminal regime to use you as human shields. Refrain from residing or moving near the mentioned locations, and know that staying in underground shelters will not provide you with security.
Though Israel has killed important military commanders in Iran, U.S. President Donald Trump, a key Israeli ally, has drawn the line at killing Iran's supreme leader. Still, even Trump has not been clear about what he expects, proposing both more fighting and a deal to end it.
Well, I hope there's going to be a deal. I think it's time for a deal, and we'll see what happens. But sometimes they have to fight it out, but we're going to see what happens. I think there's a good chance there'll be a deal.
And with deadly strikes continuing, the world is left wondering how far this conflict will go. Ryan Wu and John Van Triest for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's smaller opposition, Taiwan People's Party, has called for the abolishment of the country's government watchdog. The TPP says the body is actively working in the interest of ruling Democratic Progressive Party.
监察院太好用啦，监察院可以拿来酬庸自己人，还可以当成他攻击政敌的政治工具。
The Control Yuan is an independent branch of government that has the power to impeach, censor, and audit officials. TPP chair and lawmaker Huang Guotang last week put forth a proposal to abolish it. The proposal has passed its first stage, garnering signatures from a quarter of Taiwan's 113 lawmakers. The DPP has previously supported getting rid of the Control Yuan as well, but the party is now questioning the motives and timing of this current push.
我的注解是，这是一个政治报复式的修宪，这是一个急就章式的修宪，这更是一个国会扩权式的修宪。
Abolishing the Control Yuan would require a constitutional amendment which needs both legislative and public approval to pass. To find out more about what the Control Yuan does and why there's a push to remove it, Leslie Lau spoke to Courtney Donovan-Smith, a political analyst in central Taiwan.
Can you tell us a little bit about what the Control Yuan does, and is it an entity that's exclusive to Taiwan's government?
The Control Yuan is in Taiwan, it's the only one in the world. Taiwan has a unique 5 branches of government arrangement, which also includes the examination yuan. And the purpose of these two is that when Sun Yat-sen brought in the Constitution, is that the Control Yuan and the examination yuan reflect some Chinese imperial traditions about monitoring government officials and to avoid things like corruption and other misbehavior.
Why are the opposition TPP and the Kuomintang now calling to abolish the Control Yuan?
Well, not only the TPP and parts of the KMT are looking to examine it. There was for a while, the DPP also supported eliminating both of these branches of government. Now, the traditional criticisms, and there's some evidence to back this, is that the appointees to the Control Yuan are political. And of course, that leads to allegations of witch hunts, for example, because their job is to independently investigate, audit, and can issue writs of impeachment against government officials. Well, the DPP is concerned, and they've expressed this. That they are afraid of what they refer to it as being politicized. They also have some concerns about the powers of the Control Yuan being shifted to the legislative yuan, which they fear will be used maliciously against the executive yuan.
Now, let's say that the Control Yuan is abolished. How would that tip the scales of political power in Taiwan, if at all?
Well, this is the Constitution, so it's held to a much higher bar. You have to first, to propose it, you need 1/4 of the legislature to do so, which they have already passed that hurdle. The second hurdle is then to set up a committee to examine changing the Constitution. They have to come up with a proposal, and then that requires 3/4 of the legislators to get behind it. Once that threshold is passed, which is going to be difficult, then it goes to a public vote. Well, this is a very interesting one because last year, the KMT and the TPP passed a law which would have passed some of the powers of both the Control Yuan and the Judicial Yuan into the hands of the legislature. So that would have allowed them to interrogate government officials in the legislature. Now, this was ruled unconstitutional by the Constitutional Court precisely because it was taking functions allotted to 2 other branches of government. So a lot of this, I think, would have to be hashed out in the committee. Now, the DPP obviously here has veto power if they want to get to that 3/4 threshold. So what that's going to mean is they're going to have to propose the TPP right now, it's their proposal on the board, they're going to have to propose compromises that would be acceptable to the DPP, who is, of course, the current ruling power, so that they feel that these powers could not be abused by the legislature.
That was political analyst Courtney Donovan-Smith. Young people along Taiwan's northeast coast are embracing hip-hop culture, but making it their own in a region with its own deep traditions. Eric Gao has the story.
These breakdancers are part of a wave of hip-hop culture that's spread all across Taiwan. But these aren't your typical b-boys. They're part of a separate movement that doesn't just follow American styles. Rather, it pushes them in a strongly local direction. Leading the vanguard of the movement is Wang Jieming. His family didn't like it at all when he first got into hip-hop. But now he's made something of a name for himself, not just as a breakdancer, but as a mentor to many young people from miles around and as a proud representative of his home, Yilan County on Taiwan's northeast coast.
我就是开始代表台湾出去比赛不哩啊侪届，嘛伫韩国、中国甲无共的国家摕到冠军过，想要用我家己的跳舞出去代表宜兰出去，互搁较侪人知影讲，咱宜兰嘛有袂歹的舞者呢。
And this hometown pride shows up again and again in Yilan's hip-hop culture scene. The Yilan Street Art Association is a graffiti collective that's also very proud of where it comes from. Though its members take their inspiration from Western street art, they've made a name for themselves spray painting motifs and scenes based on local folk culture. Wang knows these young people and helps find them spaces that want murals with these traditional designs.
王建民有当时就较侪庙有熟悉，有庙嘛有要转型啊。像苏澳静安宫，我就是用我的方式去甲妈祖千里的顺风耳龙凤加庙宇元素的物件放伫顶馆。
And Yilan pride goes right through the local rap scene too. Drawing inspiration from local temple culture and its music, rap crew Cocky Boys represents Yilan County in one of its own languages. In their hands, the once marginalized Taiwanese Taiyi becomes an elegant vehicle for songs about home, belonging, and rootedness.
像中国他们有国风、古风啊，那 hip hop 这种东西啊，讲美国，它本来就是他们自己的东西。但是台湾好像还没有真的说，有完全属于自己的嘻哈。你就思考是不是，如果跟北管结合，会不会创造出台湾自己的音乐？
This crew thinks it's found the answer. Yes. Yes, they can. It may not have a local origin, but in Yilan County, U.S. street culture has taken on a new guise, with young people from around the region adapting and reshaping foreign elements into something deeply rooted in the local landscape. Ryan Wu, John Van Trieste, and Eric Gao for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, we leave you with images of this rare oil painting of Indian independence leader Mahatma Gandhi, which will be auctioned in July. I'm Sanichi, take care and see you next time.
I'm Tiffany Wong in Kuala Lumpur, and you're watching TaiwanPlus.